one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. Just gotta mean something to you. They gotta mean something. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2 3. 1 2 3.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps cause they know what happens next. So without further ado, free smoke. Look, scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much I have you doing what it meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa Bars forever, like they decided to throw me under Slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop 1,000,000 songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our blocks, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
Winning has a price. And leadership has a price.
I'm coming. I promise you, on my life, I'm coming. From the first snap, man. From the first second. What are we gonna do, man? All back against the wall. All back is against the wall.
I'm ready for whatever right now.
Oh my God, we are back. Welcome back. Another episode of Kicking It with Saint. The most important episode of the season at this point, because we are here to talk about Lamar Jackson and Patty Goat Mahomes. Oh my God, what an episode we got. Hey, I appreciate you for joining me. I appreciate you for being here. I appreciate all the subscribers, the new subscribers, the comments, I appreciate it all. That Josh Allen video did numbers. I ain't even think. Bro, I'm going to tell y'all what's crazy. As many times as I done talked about Josh Allen on the show, and we done had a lot of shows where we talk about Josh Allen. For the most part, I'm defending Josh Allen. For the most part, I'm always backing Josh Allen. It's funny that when I finally decide to be critical of Josh Allen, how the video blows up. It's crazy. I can get comments, people not happy about what I said about Josh Allen. We already know those are people who don't watch the show on a regular basis, because if they did, they would not have been offended by what I said about Josh Allen. Or maybe you would have. I don't know. I don't really care. But I still love Josh Allen. That's still my guy. But listen, I was looking at some shows, as I do. And I guess the thing today is Taylor Lewan, however the fuck you pronounce his last name, the former offensive tackle for the Tennessee Titans. Very short-lived prime. He got that redneck hillbilly ass show, Bussing with the Boys, on where they in that little RV or whatever. It's a whack ass show by two players who a lot of white people get to watch that show. They done had some decent teammate guests on there, and so they feel more important than they actually are. I think they feel like they like a Pat McAfee type an extension. You're not. Both of you dudes are cornballs. The second dude who on that show, Will Compton. Oh man, what a show. Hey, it's a good thing they made it to the NFL and can feed their families for life, right? Anyways, Taylor Lewan was talking about the formula to stopping Lamar Jackson. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. Nothing that he said bothered me. Taylor Lewan is a dipshit. I knew that a while ago. That's why I really don't bring up anything he says. But a lot of people was talking to me today about, am I going to talk about it on the show? Sure. Taylor Lewan said, and then he doubled down on how he felt like you'd stop Lamar by saying, bring up the 2019 playoff game. Listen, clearly this was a dude that was trying to get a rise out of the fans. Lamar Jackson is not the Lamar Jackson from that 2019 game. If that's the only thing that the Titans, which I said a couple episodes ago, if that's the highlight of their franchise's tenure, was beating Lamar Jackson in 2019, just let these jackasses have it. I mean, to me, this is kind of like the Cincinnati Bengals situation where your franchise has less playoff wins in its history than Pat Mahomes has in his career. Why would I, really entertain the Bengals too much? Like, the same trash talk they talk to other teams and other players, you could just flip it around on them. What has Taylor Lewan or Will Compton done in their career for anybody to really talk about them too much? I mean, I'd rather talk about something crazy an analyst said before I start talking about Will Compton and Taylor Lewan. I mean, I'm just keeping a buck with you. If Taylor Lewan want to slant, if he want to say the things he say, if he want to tell you basically that he don't watch football games, if he want to be offended by the fans coming back at him because clearly he don't watch football games, if that's how he's saying you stop Lamar, bro, let the man be a white dumbass as much as he want to. It don't bother me when white dudes want to be stupid, bro. And I told y'all multiple times, white dudes can say whatever the fuck they want to when it comes to this sport thing, and nobody get to check them for it. And when you check them for it, they get to bring up some dumbass statement that has nothing to do with what you checked them on. Bill Polian, the racist that is, a Hall of Fame GM who told you that Lamar Jackson should switch to a receiver or running back, is still on the same path. He's still telling you to stop Lamar Jackson the same way you would have stopped Lamar Jackson the first year he was in the league. Lamar has grown. Their opinions of him have not. At some point in time, people just going to have to realize racism is a real thing. I understand white people don't want to believe that exists. People keep trying to let them off the hook by saying, oh, that's not how they done seen the conventional quarterback be played. Patrick Mahomes runs the ball all the time when he have to. Josh Allen is literally a different version of Cam Newton. You've never seen them go at Josh Allen. The year Joe Burrow got to the Super Bowl, his legs did a lot of the work when he needed to make a play. You didn't see anything about shitting on him for using his legs. To act as though Lamar Jackson is only using his legs and his arm and none of that other it's crazy at this point, and it's crazy to really keep addressing it from these dumbass dudes. That's why I really don't waste my time when it comes to because listen, bro, it take a certain type of dumbass to actually be a player against the rape. Now, for Taylor Lewan, when the last time he done played an NFL game? Motherfucker always hurt. He not good no more. His prime was like a year or two. So, I mean, come on, man. We're talking about a guy who living off of the success of his team. I don't even know if Taylor Lewan played in that playoff game. But just, let him have his moment. Who cares? If that's the highlight, really, fans should learn how to argue back with guys. Fans should learn how to talk shit back. If you're not going to use, context and stats to argue, well, not stats. If you're not going to use the context to argue back, bro, just flip it on him. If he think 2019 is the game that you need to see how to stop him, well, you should have told him. Yeah, of course you think that, fat fuck. That's your greatest achievement in your career, was winning a playoff game that didn't even get your fat ass to a Super Bowl. So, and then this is how you know when you get an athlete, when they start bringing up the money they make. And I'm imagining it would not be too hard to say that to Taylor Lewan, fat, ugly ass. Like, come on now. I saw somebody say earlier today, like, he looked like the typical white dude that would be talking trash about Lamar Jackson. You right. He looked like a typical white dude that be on bussing with the boys on a bus It's a lot of words I would like to say right now to Taylor Lewan, but I'm not going to say them. But, just let the fat fuck do what he want, bro. Taylor Lewan is so unimportant, bro. Like, in this grand scheme of football, who the fuck is Taylor Lewan, bro? Or Will Compton, for that matter. For the last couple years, I just see them as two dudes whose careers ain't go the way they wanted to, who continue to try to be a part of football by saying a whole bunch of shit that nobody cares about. I mean, you see all these other sports podcasts and these sports shows that I would watch well before I watch. I've never watched an episode of Bussin' with the Boys, bro. I had to look up the name before I got on the show today because I did not remember the name of the show. Now, I know some people might be thinking, bro, they pull in more views than you. That's because they played football, jackass. But believe it or not, if they did not play football, do you think anybody... I'm going to tell you what's crazy. Will Compton being on that show. Taylor Lewan was good for like 2 years. Will Compton was good for like a half a year, maybe a year. So to be honest with you, how either of these two bums have a show is crazy. I'm just being honest. Now, I know somebody else going to say, well, you didn't even play the sport. I get that. I know more about football than these two fat fucks. Well, Will Compton's not fat. Than this fat fuck Taylor Lewan. Clearly. If you don't believe me, just listen to what the motherfucker is saying. And this is who people choose to put their football faith in. It's crazy. And then Bill Polian, bro, I just wish he'd just roll over and pass away now, bro. To be honest with you, to have this type of hatred in your heart this long, when you were wrong, that's the thing that I love about white people the most, bro. White people can be wrong, and they'll just continue to double down on being wrong. And nobody say shit about it. People just let them live in that reality of doubling down on stupidity. It's crazy. But nonetheless, the episode is so much better than talking about those bums. Bill Polians of the world. Will Compton called it straight, but he done said stupid shit before also. Plus, I really don't like his tweets and the shit that he be saying on Twitter either. I think both of these fucks is attention-grabbing motherfucker. I was going to say so. I think both of them just on Twitter for the attention. I think Bussin' with the Boys is a garbage-ass show. Any dude who was a great player that went on that show to me just did it to throw them dudes a bone. You'll never beat a Pat McAfee show, my guy. But, that's just how I feel. I'm pretty sure it's a redneck out there that love the show, that love listening to two nobodies talk absolute stupid on sports. When you could just go look at other great players who do it. Like, hell, Jason Kelsey and Travis Kelce. You could go watch that. I don't even remember. The New Heights, I think is what that's called. You can go watch that. That's a far better, more informative show than Bussin' with the Boys. And while Pat McAfee, he have his moments on the show. That's a far better show but it's a lot of shows that's better than Bussin' with the Boys. I'm just telling you right now. And the name of that, Bussin' with the Boys, that's so gay. Like, bro, dudes is gay. That's a gay name. Not that it's a problem with you being gay, but I just want them to come out and admit it. I don't care if they got wives and children. We done seen this before. Bussin' with the Boys is a gay-ass name. And it's also a name only a white dude would have came up with. I bet you when they came up with that name, they was sitting together laughing, Bussin' with the Boys. I got a white homeboy who would have called them the F-A-G-G word. I'm just telling you right now. It's crazy that white people can use that word so freely, bro. But every time I hear it, I laugh, bro. I don't know why. I'm a bad person. But listen, we got a lot to talk about. The Tennessee Titans also have less playoff wins than the Pat Mahomes got. Just wanted to throw that out there. Anyways, and also, it's funny to me that Taylor and Will got so much time to talk. Ain't y'all still in football shape, bro? Go make a team. Y'all doing all this talking about dudes who on the field. Go make a team, bro. It's crazy. Anyways, we got more important things to talk about. And Bill Polian, bro, I am dead serious when I say I wish you hurry up and croak over, bro. Because the world would be such a better place without your ignorance in it. And I don't wish death on nobody. That's why I said I wish you go roll over and croak over. Because, my guy, to be this wrong for this long and to not have learned your lesson, that's another one of the things for me. Only white people can go this long without learning the lesson, bro. Only white people can live 20 years. Only a white person can be wrong in year 1 and still be doubly as wrong in year 6. Only a white person is allowed to do that. To be honest with you, bruh, with all the shit that Bill Polian has said about Lamar Jackson, how they have not taken that Hall of Fame vote from him. I understand they don't have him on too many airways nowadays because of his verbiage, but I'm telling you, I saw a dude on NFL Network the other day say that he would still take Josh Allen over Pat Mahomes. How stupid is that of a comment? Pat Mahomes done played for 7 years, started for 6, been in 6 AFC championship games, 3 Super Bowls. He's never lost a playoff game but 1 in regulation. Meaning every time you beat this motherfucker, you got to go and do it in overtime. The 2 Super Bowl wins, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, 2 MVPs of the regular season. But sure, you would take Josh Allen over Pat Mahomes. I'm going to tell you what's interesting. For all the love and adoration people keep giving Josh Allen. Josh Allen done won his division. Sure. A Tom Brady-less Patriots. Tua Tagovailoa, who people not sure on, leading the Dolphins. And a bad Jets team. Whoop-de-doo. Pat Mahomes is in a division that people continuously thought other teams was going to come out on top. Oh, they got Justin Herbert. Oh, they got Derek Carr. Oh, they got Russell Wilson. And Pat keep doing it like clockwork. Lamar Jackson is in a tougher division. I'm going to tell you what I find interesting. Pat Mahomes, with all the success he done had, to say you would still take Josh Allen is very interesting to me. And here's why. Would you take Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow over Pat Mahomes right now? I think the answer would be no. The answer should be no. If you say yes, you're a fucking idiot. Both of those two have accomplished more than Josh Allen to this point. Let me tell you what I find interesting. Lamar Jackson has won the AFC, meaning he done had the best team in the AFC record-wise twice. Meaning he done got the first round, and he done been the first. They done been the number 1 team in the AFC twice. He done had his team on the verge of capturing it more. That number 1 seed. If he don't have the number 1 seed, Pat Mahomes has it. Why would I take Josh Allen over either of those two? I understand Josh Allen has been great in a weak division. I understand how great Josh Allen is as a player by himself. However, it's the simple things that y'all can't even give me when it comes to Josh Allen. Oh, y'all love to bring up stats. Pat Mahomes had damn near the same stats, and he had more drops from his receivers this year than Josh Allen, something that y'all like to bitch about. I mean, in every type of different way you can argue this, Josh Allen is not getting taken over Lamar or Pat Mahomes. Now, the only reason you take him over Lamar is because you're somebody who don't like watching Lamar play, or you still don't think Lamar can throw and these others. But every step of the way, Lamar and Pat Mahomes done been better than Josh Allen on the field. And the thing that's starting to hurt Josh Allen is he keep losing to Joe Burrow, somebody that Lamar Jackson religiously beats when he healthy. Joe Burrow, I would love to say it's only the talent on that side of the ball that as to reasons why Joe Burrow keep beating him. But go look at Josh Allen against the Bengals. That don't look like a top tier quarterback to me. The offense can't keep up scoring wise. It's one thing for your defense to never be able to stop Joe Burrow. I get that. Your offense don't do much against Joe Burrow and that defense either. So now you got Joe Burrow, and even though I keep telling you that Joe Burrow got a lot of those weapons, what am I supposed to do if he continue to beat Josh Allen also? So either you losing the head-to-heads, either you're not capturing the first place in the AFC, and Josh Allen ain't never had the first place in the AFC, which is kind of weird to me that you can keep telling me how great a quarterback he is, but he can't seem to take the first place in this conference once. And he play in the weaker division compared to Lamar and Joe Burrow and Pat Mahomes. He play in a far weaker division than those other three. Those other three done had the first place in the AFC. I don't think Joe Burrow done had it, but I could be wrong. I know for a fact Lamar done had it twice and Pat Mahomes done had it, like 4 times. So this notion, this energy to be able to get on TV and say, I'd take Josh Allen before Pat Mahomes, no question. What? How? Why? What are you using to back that up? And you can't say, oh, well, Pat Mahomes done had Travis Kelce. He done had Tyreek Hill. Is Tyreek Hill winning on the same level he won at when he was in Kansas City? He might be producing on a higher level, but is that producing turning into a Super Bowl? Travis Kelce, as much as I love him, greatest tight end of all time. Do you think Travis Kelce putting up these type of numbers if he didn't have Pat Mahomes? So, while I'm the first person who tell you how great all these individual players is, bro, don't get it twisted. Pat Mahomes is that guy. He is him. There's a lot of hims in the league, but it ain't no bigger him than Pat fucking Mahomes. To be able to allow the lack of melanin in your skin to, when you lack that melanin and you feel like you can go up on TV and say whatever the fuck you want to because of the lack of melanin, it's crazy to me. These white dudes getting out of control because it was a white dude who said it. I mean, if we ain't got to hear a white dude come up with a million excuses for Josh Allen, now we got to hear a white dude just straight up disrespect his superiors. And Pat Mahomes is his superior. To me, it's crazy. It's almost as if white dudes just cannot live with the fact that a black man is better than their guy. And at first they was cool because, he married a white woman. But then Pat Mahomes started talking about Lamar Jackson. And them white boys ain't like that. They say, oh, no. He giving that man way too much credit. And then he kept beating Josh Allen. And like, oh, no. We can't keep having him beat our guy. And now you have what you have. And it's really sad, to be honest with you, to feel like Josh Allen is a better player, quarterback, than Pat Mahomes. To me, that's insane. Like I said, I don't think Josh Allen is better than Lamar or Pat Mahomes. Some days it'd be slipping with me when it comes to the Bengals, but I know he better than Joe Burrow. But I will say this, Joe Burrow, the thing that people keep using to try to put him over Josh Allen is he don't make the mistakes that Josh Allen make. He don't turn the ball over the way Josh Allen turned the ball over. But I will continue to say, man, you shouldn't be turning the ball over when you got them three dudes running around that receiver, bro. If Joe Burrow was going out there throwing 5-6 interceptions, like if he was throwing 3-2 interceptions a game, that'd just be crazy. That'd just be crazy. With the talent that he got over there at running back and at receiver, that'd be nuts if he was going out there doing that. So you wouldn't expect him to do that anyways. But this other notion that Josh Allen ain't never had to. Now, listen, I told you that I don't think they done enough because of the evolution of other teams. I'm not sitting here telling you that they ain't never had talent on that team for Buffalo. Not to mention they done had defenses. So, to get on TV and say that you would take, I don't know, man. That's insane to me. Anyways, Mark Andrews is active in this game on Sunday. I do not believe that Marlon Humphreys is playing, to be honest with you, because he has not practiced this week. Well, he have, but he been limited at practice both days, whereas Mark Andrews done been a full participant in practice. So who knows what'll happen with Marlon Humphreys. Marlon Humphrey done had an up and down year. Some games he looked like he's still one of the best cornerbacks in football. Some days he looked like, Mark Andrews. What's my man name? Marlon Humphrey's getting beat on that deep route. I don't know how he haven't cleaned that up in his career yet, but it is what it is. I also want to say something else. Colin Cowherd did his most important players for the playoffs for this AFC championship game. Like he ranked the most important players, and he had, and this just tells me sometimes that either you don't watch ball or the way you watch ball don't make sense. Colin's top 10 players for the AFC championship game was Pat Mahomes, and I'm going in order. Mahomes, Lamar, Roquan, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, Zay Flowers, L'Jarius Sneed, Trent McDuffie, Kyle Hamilton, Mark Andrews. This is a foolish list. Obviously, Pat Mahomes and Lamar is 1-2. And I wouldn't even mind Roquan being number 3. I agree with that. Travis Kelce being number 4 is insane based off of the season he done had. And I'm the first person who tell you I still got faith in him. Kyle Hamilton should be higher than 9. It's no way McDuffie, Snead, Flowers, Jones, and Kelsey should be above Kyle Hamilton. It's as almost if we forget that that is a first team All-Pro this year. Not a Pro Bowler. No. First team All-Pro. How is he behind Chris Jones, Travis Kelsey, Zay Flowers, Ja'Jarius Snead, and McDuffie? That's insane. So to me, 4 should be Kyle Hamilton. 5 should be L'Jarius Snead. 6 should be what's the tight end? Isaiah Likely. 7 would probably be Chris Jones. 8 would be Travis Kelsey. 9 would probably be I wouldn't put Trent McDuffie at 9. I like Trent McDuffie, but I wouldn't put him at 9. Patrick Queen would probably be my 9, and number 10 would still not be Mark Andrews for the simple reason I don't know how Mark Andrews is going to play. Number 10 would probably then be Zay Flowers or Isaiah Pacheco. Isaiah Pacheco would be a little bit higher on this list. But this list with the starting at 4, Kelsey, Jones, Flowers, Snead, McDuffie, Hamilton, Andrews, that's just fucking stupid. That's telling me that you don't watch the games or you're not understanding what you're watching when you watch these games. But to me, this Kyle Hamilton disrespect, bro. I'm looking at a lot of the media that just keep forgetting that this man even exists. I saw an interview the other day where somebody was like, it ain't like the Ravens got Hall of Famers on that defense aside from Roquan. My guy, Marlon Humphreys can still get his career back on track and end up as a Hall of Famer. I don't understand how people keep forgetting his greatness. Kyle Hamilton, like I said, the best safety in football. It's ridiculous that people keep forgetting his what he can do. I don't know. It's been real weird to me based on listening to people rank who they think is the most important in the game and things like that. Because I think a lot of people is showing you that they haven't watched the Ravens play all year. They just don't watch the last couple games that's been nationally televised and whatnot. But to each his own. We're here to pick the game. We're here to talk about the game. We're here to break down the game. And what I want to tell you to start off is records don't matter. The records don't matter. The defense, how great that's been ranked, don't matter. None of that shit matters, bro, because you're going against Patrick Mahomes. And at the end of the day, I think I saw a stat that said he done faced the top defense like 6 times in his career. He done faced the number 1 scoring defense and beat them all 6 times. So, you know, the Ravens having the number 1 scoring defense don't mean a fucking thing to Pat Mahomes. And listen, Pat Mahomes is that quarterback, in my opinion, even more so than Brady, in my opinion. You can have everything going great, bro, and it still cannot fucking matter if Pat Mahomes is doing his thing. And that's just the reality. The difference in this game, however, is Lamar Jackson is on the other side of the field. And if Lamar Jackson is the player who I believe him to be, if he is now growing into Mahomes' opposite, the Ravens will win this game. Because you know how I tell you when the teams is even, we go with the quarterback. Obviously, I would always take Pat Mahomes over any quarterback matchup there is. After this game, he can lose to Mahomes. He can lose to Lamar. In the future, I'm probably still going to take Pat Mahomes. However, it's a little bit different this year because I don't think that these teams is evenly matched as people like to make it out to be. The Chiefs have looked good in the playoffs to this point. They done look far better in the playoffs than they did in the regular season. That's not shocking to me. However, what's also not shocking to me is, yes, they do look better in the playoffs because this is a playoff type of team. However, the Bills and the Bills and the Dolphins defense, both compromised. Basically, neither defense had pass rushers. The Dolphins didn't have a single pass rusher on the field. All of their pass rushers was hurt. And the Bills defense is banged up as you can be. And that's what a great quarterback does. Pat Mahomes still finds a way to win those games. Even if everything not going great for him, when you missing key pieces like that, Pat Mahomes going to exploit that. And I said it. If you can't put constant pressure on Pat Mahomes, he going to figure out how to win this game. And he did just that. Now, what's interesting to me is, in that Bills game, the Bills had 3 possessions at the end of that game to try to make some shit shake. And all they ended up with was 53 yards and no points. So, whose fault is that? Now, when it comes to this game, I do not believe that the offense of the Chiefs will look as prolific as it's looked in some of these past games. I don't think this will be a game where they march down the field on their first 9 possessions or whatnot and score. I think that this defense for the Ravens provides a unique. Now, while I don't think that the big plays, the explosive plays and things like that will happen, I do believe they'll have an opportunity for explosive plays and not in the conventional throw it over the top and pick up a lot of yards. The Ravens defense will have, I said this against Miami, there will be moments in this game where the Ravens defense, because of the zone they run and whatnot, it will have quick little reads to be exploited. I could see Travis Kelce hitting a quick little read and picking up 16 yards after the catch and things like that. But eventually, those holes close. Those holes aren't there the entirety of the game. The defense will start to play closer. They'll start to lock that up. If the Chiefs cannot exploit that early and often, this is going to be a long game for the Chiefs. Because the reality is, while I'm not caring about all the numbers and whatnot, because this is Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes is not human. I done come to that conclusion. However, he got some dogs on the other side of that football that he got to deal with right now. I'm looking at that Buffalo defense. I'm looking at that Miami defense. They don't got a Roquan Smith. They ain't got a Patrick Queen. They ain't got a Kyle Hamilton. They ain't got a Justin Mitabike right now. That's the difference. They ain't got a Jadeveon Clowney, a Kyle Van Noy. They just don't have those things at their disposal right now. And because of that, I think this is one of the better defenses Pat Mahomes will play in his career. Now, let me go ahead and tell you this. If, in the case Pat Mahomes do win this game, they're winning the Super Bowl. I'm just telling you that right now. I'm picking whoever win this game to win the Super Bowl because I don't think the NFC is good enough compared to these two teams unless one of these two teams take a major injury heading into the Super Bowl. Or unless these two teams beat the absolute dog shit out of each other and it just carry on to the Super Bowl. I have a hard time believing that either Detroit or San Fran will be able to beat these two teams in 4 quarters. However, one of the reasons that you have to stay mindful about Pat Mahomes being able to overcome all of that talent on the defense is because I seen Pat Mahomes go into San Fran and beat the dog shit out of San Francisco. Talent all over that defense does not matter. When Pat Mahomes is in his shit, and that was last year. That wasn't him with Tyreek. That was him just last year. So there is not one quarterback that scared me more than Pat Mahomes when it comes to we should win this game. Oh, well, fuck. Pat Mahomes on the other side of the ball, so it's a good chance we could still lose this game. There's no quarterback in football that do that to me like Pat Mahomes. Lamar would probably be second, then Josh Allen, but when I look at Pat Mahomes and you say this is a game that we're not supposed to win, get me the quarterback who can win this game is Pat Mahomes. And so I get the greatness of a Roquan. I get the greatness of a Kyle Hamilton. I get the greatness of Justin Mitabike and all these other dudes. Pat Mahomes is still the dude that can overcome it, but I think it'll be so much tougher this year because Pat Mahomes is playing with his weakest supporting cast he has ever played with. At the end of the day, you still do need help. We done said it all the time. Lamar Jackson needed help. Pat Mahomes needed. You still need help. And I don't think the way that Valdez-Scantling and those guys was able to play against a banged up Buffalo defense, I just don't think it's going to be the same when you play. See, I'm not bringing in the Ravens crowd noise and being at home. I don't care about none of that. I didn't care about it in Buffalo. I don't care about it now. But Buffalo's biggest advantage being the crowd noise is a problem. When your crowd play more of a role than your actual defense, you might have a problem. And so that's the thing coming into this game. I don't think that the crowd noise for Baltimore plays as much a role as that defense will still play because the defense has guys on that side. And this is why I say other dudes get paid. It ain't just Lamar Jackson. This is the toughest game the defense will play all year against Pat motherfucking Mahomes with a chance to go back to a Super Bowl. Do you understand? See, this is why I say this is not just a regular game, bro. This is Pat Mahomes knowing if I win this game, I'm back in the Super Bowl. Bro, the man done been to 3. He done won 2. He got 2 finals MVP. I mean, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. He done been in 6 AFC championship games. If it's a motherfucker who want to get to a Super Bowl, it's that motherfucker. Bro, before the man is 30, he could already have damn near half the Super Bowls Tom Brady got. Before Pat Mahomes is 30, he could have 3 Super Bowl wins, 4 appearances. Do you understand how that is ridiculous? That is ridiculous. That's why it's hard to pick this. Well, it's not hard to pick this game. You know who I'm picking, but that's why I make it fun talking about this game, because Pat Mahomes is every bit of him that him could possibly be. And I know I'm waxing poetically about Pat Mahomes to start. Don't worry, I'm going to get to Lamar, but this defense for the Ravens will be tested. I understand they done made every quarterback look average. I understand the test they done went up against. I understand the players they done went up against, the defenses they done faced, the offenses they done faced. I get it. You ain't faced Patrick Mahomes. Point blank, period. This is the toughest test you will have. Not Josh Allen, not Joe Burrow, not none of that. The toughest test is Pat fucking Mahomes, because the guy just know how to win. He is the equalizer. If everything is off balance, you plug Pat Mahomes in there, and now everything is equal. He is the great equalizer. He is the end all be all in football right now. Pat Mahomes is that guy. And the defense have to. I saw Roquan Sting say he put on his pants like we put on. No, he don't. He don't. The motherfucker wake up out of the bed and just hop both legs fully into them bitches. That's what I'm convinced of now. Pat Mahomes do not do shit the way we do shit. If he did, he would not have the resume he got right now. That motherfucker is different. Now, Pat Mahomes can still turn the ball over from trying to make too many things happen, which is a problem that I do think he could get himself into this game if they cannot run the ball, which is why it's going to be very important for the Baltimore Ravens to shut down that run completely. You can live off of Pat Mahomes dinking and dunking here and there, because you'll eventually shut that down. But to take the life out of that running game early, to let Isaiah Pacheco know early, this ain't going to be no 100-yard plus game for you, buddy. This ain't even going to be no 50-plus yard game for you. This going to be you getting hit in the backfield, beat up all fucking game. One of the beautiful things about the Ravens is what made the Seattle Seahawks defense, Legion of Boom, so great. They tackle when the ball. See, we spent a lot of time talking about their Legion of Boom when the linebacking core for the Seahawks, KJ, Malcolm, Bobby, they make the tackle as soon as the ball is wherever the ball is at, they swarm to the ball and make the tackle. You don't get a lot of extra yards after you catch a pass against that team. That's Baltimore. Baltimore got to limit these dink and dunks to just that. 2 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards. You can't have a 2-yard catch go for 15, 16 yards. You got to kill that screen game of Kansas City early, because Kansas City understands they have Pat Mahomes, not great weapons. And Travis Kelce can still pull out a great game or two, but I think this game will be a tougher game for Travis Kelce. I don't think this is a game in which you can win it off of Travis Kelce being great, because it's very hard for me to see a Travis Kelce that's no longer in his prime being great against what he gonna have to face in this Baltimore game. Kyle Hamilton was made to stop players like Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce in his prime would have been a tougher battle for a Kyle Hamilton. However, I think Kyle Hamilton can dominate this matchup this week. And really, that's to me what it come down to. Baltimore has the matchup advantage in the defense. They have the players to be able to defend Rasheem Rice if he play. And I don't want to disrespect Marquez Valdez-Scantling, but you're not putting 2 dudes on Valdez-Scantling. You have the players to defend Travis Kelce. I don't even think you need to double team Travis Kelce when you have Kyle Hamilton. Not to mention the way Kyle run his, the way not Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce, one of the beautiful things about him is how he know how to find the space in the zone to sit down and chill out and whatnot. I think that's a tougher proposition this game when you have Roquan, Patrick Queen, and Kyle Hamilton man in the middle of the field. Also, you just don't know where Kyle Hamilton going to be at. Either Kyle Hamilton was the best cover dude in football this year, basically. He only gave up about 4 yards a catch when he was on defending somebody. That's insane. to me, Kyle Hamilton, what he can provide against Travis Kelce is like nothing Travis Kelce done had to deal with for the majority. Because Derwin James does not defend the way that Kyle Hamilton defend. I saw somebody say, well, he done dealt with Derwin James. Derwin James is not the same cover guy that Kyle Hamilton has been this year. So to me, that's a crazy comparison. Derwin James is a great tackler. He great when he come down and playing that. And I'm not telling you he bad in coverage, but now, if you want to say he had to deal with Tyrann Mathieu in practice a lot, you can convince me. But right now, I think the matchup advantage, it definitely have to go to Baltimore, because I think Baltimore has the matchup advantage all the way around the defense. You have Stevenson, and I'm still not sold on Stevens the way some people in Baltimore are. Like, I think Stevens is a good cornerback, and he definitely not matured from his to me, the biggest jump, obviously, is Kyle Hamilton. And I know we'll talk about Patrick Queen. One player who done made a monumental jump that I don't think we talk about enough is Geno Stone. Geno Stone was so lost in his first 2 years in Baltimore, or the last 2 years. And that could have a lot to do with playing with bad cover guys like a Chuck Clark, who I always was against when he was. I said multiple times, that is not a good safety. He is good by committee. He missed tackle, and that's the biggest problem I was having with Chuck Clark, which is why I'm not mad that Kyle Hamilton took it. I was ecstatic when Kyle Hamilton came in and took his spot, because Chuck Clark, in my opinion, is not a starting safety in the NFL, at least not on a championship team. If you think he is, good for you. But after watching the tape of him for multiple years, I don't think he's a great tackler. I think he played great when he got a lot of great players around him. But as soon as those other great players start to take a slip, then you start to see what Clark really was. And Clark was not great in coverage. He wasn't a great tackler. He wasn't a game-changing defender, bro. When Marcus Peters started to slip, then you started to see Buddy get exposed. So this is a completely different secondary, and I understand Pat Mahomes done had his success against this secondary. This ain't the same secondary Pat Mahomes done had to deal with before. This is a far better secondary and a far better defense. So while it's not that I don't have faith in Stevens, but he still get beat a couple times a game. And some of the times when he get beat is like egregious, like he nowhere near the dude, or he get beat bad. So that's why you have to worry about the over-the-top help, Marcus Williams, and where he going to be situated. Geno Stone. I think Geno Stone's development is a huge reason as to why they haven't given up the big plays that they usually give up. Because when Marcus Williams went down, you immediately thought, oh, Geno Stone starting again is going to be bad. But Geno Stone's development done helped a lot in that secondary. So because the Ravens have the depth, and I think they can match up well against the Chiefs, I do think this will be while this will be the defense's toughest test taking on Patty, this will be Patty's toughest test this year, or in really quite some time, taking on a defense, because this defense match up against his offense as well as any other defense has been able to match up against him. When you had Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, it wasn't too many defense that could match up with you. Now, I just think it's different. You got Kadarius Toney, Mecole Hardman, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Rasheem Rice. Like, I just don't think that the Ravens defense look at those weapons and say, yeah, we know how great Pat Mahomes is, but if we shut down these dudes, he can't make crazy plays. He can't, will them to a win if these dudes just choose not to produce. And them not producing is going to be dependent on us. Now, I know Kadarius is hurt still. The real shame is that Mecole Hardman have to play, and I understand people say he done been the Ravens killer the last couple years. Listen, I'm very interested to see how he play against this Ravens defense. It'll be very hard for me to put Mecole Hardman on the field after the bullshit he pulled last week with the 2 fumbles and 2 touches. That'd just be very tough for me. I don't care how he done played against this team in the past. I'm going off of right now, and right now you almost cost us a game last week, and so it'll be very tough for me to play him. But they don't have much going for him at the receiving position, so I don't think they really have a choice. The Ravens, as long as they do what they've been doing all year on defense, I think it'll be a tough game for Kansas City in this offense. I think this is one of them offensive performances from You remember what the Raiders did to Kansas City this season? The Baltimore Ravens defense can make it look like that if they do their jobs. Because the Kansas City, listen, what you worried about is Pat Mahomes. What you worried about is Pat Mahomes making the crazy play. What you worried about is Pat Mahomes making the otherworldly play. You're not necessarily worried about the other dudes unless you're just getting beat. So if you're the Ravens defense, you continue to pressure from every. See, one of the best things about the Ravens defense that I kept saying all year was they don't have a significant pass rusher. That obviously they got Justin Madubuike, who got the most sacks on the team, but the wider media don't look at him like they look at a Nick Bosa or a Myles Garrett or a TJ Watt. They get the pressure from the left side, the right side, and straight up the middle. That is far tougher for a quarterback to have to defend than when you know you can take your offensive line, your best offensive lineman, and take away the left side of the line. Your best right lineman will take out the right side. You can't prevent that type of pressure right now if you're without having a full great game by everybody involved. If you are the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line, mind you, they will have a injury. They dealing with an injury at the offensive line this week. What's my man's name? Tooney, which is a huge loss. So to me, when you look at the Chiefs, the game Pat Mahomes is gonna have to play to win this game against this defense. And I'm just talking about the Ravens defense. And it's a reason why in the past I done been so critical of the Ravens defense. If you done follow me for the last couple years, I done said multiple times. Every time somebody try to say the Ravens had a good defense last year, I said, look at who they playing against. It's not a good defense. I done said it multiple times. Not a good defense. Not a good defense. Not a championship. This is a championship defense. This is the best Ravens defense they done had since that 2000s defense, in my opinion. The 2019 defense was nowhere near as good as this defense. For one, they did not have a Roquan. They did not have a Patrick Queen. They did not have a Kyle Hamilton. This is a far better defense. The pressure that they get from the line is not what they this year is better than what they was doing in 2019. In 2019, you had what I think it was Matt Judon or Zadarius Smith. And those is great pass rushers, phenomenal pass rushers. You make up that difference with the fact that you can just before you was truly relying on one of them two. And if they didn't get it, you bummed out. Well, this year you worried about Madubuike, Arthur, Kyle Van Noy, Jadeveon Clowney. It's so many different guys that you have to what's the dude who I always be talking shit about because of his lack of production. Adafe. It's so many different guys. Brett Urban, Michael Pierce. Like, it's so many different Ravens that they play on that defensive line. And when you really look at the Ravens defensive line, it's more of like the Eagles had in the past years where they can put so many they can change so many guys out. The only guy who you know gonna be on that line every single time probably is Madubuike and Jadeveon Clowney, which I just want to point out. Jadeveon Clowney back on the defensive line, and look what that has done for his career. I'm just saying, when you take a dude off of the line to make him play a linebacking position when he is better on the line, and then he struggle when he come off the line, that's not the player being a bust. That's you being a bad head coach. But I think the challenge that Pat Mahomes, and I'm not telling, listen, if it's any quarterback that can rise above a great defense, and I don't just think this Ravens defense is a great defense. I think this is the best defense in football because when you look at the position by position, they just have it compared to other defenses. Pat Mahomes is going to have to play as perfect a game as you can possibly play. And I think that's when you get Pat Mahomes at his worst. Pat Mahomes don't want to have to play a perfect game. Pat Mahomes want to go out there and be Pat Mahomes. Now, Pat Mahomes done showed you multiple times he can go out there and play a close game. He can play a damn near perfect game. He did it last week. He didn't take too many. The beauty in it, though, is you saw the game he played last week, and you saw how tight they got kind of at the end of the game. Not necessarily tight, but those plays wasn't there because he wasn't willing to take the chances that he would usually take because he knows if I turn this ball over, that could be the game. That's the situation I believe you put Patrick Mahomes in this game. But two things going to have to happen for that to happen. Your defense is going to have to do what they've done all season. And then the offense. We done took a long time to get to this Ravens offense. It's done been a long time since we done mentioned Lamar Jackson in the video. But worry not, Raven fans. We are here to talk about L. Jack, number 8. Action Jackson. Lamar Jackson, that boy. That boy. Listen. Mr. Florida himself. If they go out here and do now, listen, I don't think the test for him will be as tough as the test for Pat Mahomes in a sense of the defense. Because I don't think that the Kansas City defense, as great as I think that defense is, they are not better than the Ravens defense. They don't have the matchup advantages that the Ravens defense has. What they have is experience advantage. However, the test for Lamar Jackson will be as hard as the test is for Pat Mahomes. Why is that? Because you trying to take out Pat motherfucking Mahomes with a chance to go to a Super Bowl. This ain't just Lamar with a chance to go to a Super Bowl. Pat Mahomes, like I said before, he understand. I win this fucking game, I'm headed back to a Super Bowl. And it's nothing like that when you the GOAT of your era continuing to reach for GOATness. So this will be a bigger test for Lamar Jackson, in my opinion. Now, I seen people say if Lamar Jackson lose this, then nothing mattered. It was a failure of a season, yada, yada, yada. Anybody with Lamar's mindset think it's a failure every year they don't win a Super Bowl. So that's ridiculous talking topic right now. I don't quite understand why we have some of these narratives going around in the media. Like, why are we talking about the dude failure? Is it going to be a failure of a season when the media cannot wait to jump on him? I also don't like this narrative of he have to win a Super Bowl. That's the only way people will validate his career. To me, that right there is so ignorant. To look at what Lamar Jackson done throughout his career, then doubt it at every angle. We haven't said Josh Allen need a Super Bowl to validate his greatness right now. For some reason, people keep forgetting Joe Burrow got to a Super Bowl and did not win it. But for some reason, we don't question their greatness. But Lamar Jackson need a Super Bowl to validate his? No. The media need to update their resumes and stop being ignorant. The media need a redo. They need to clean out this old media with you old white people who see the game in one way. They need to clear it out from you black people who just like to suck the white man's penis all day and regurgitate the shit that they say without having any type of backbone in your body. That's what need to happen. Lamar Jackson having to only win a Super Bowl to validate his greatness. This is a unanimous MVP and about to win his second MVP. But he needs a Super Bowl to validate his greatness. You know, we didn't make Joe Burrow or Josh Allen win Super Bowls to let us know how great they were. Because neither one of them have them. But we all put them in the top quarterback positions. People had Justin Herbert rated higher than Lamar Jackson just 2 years ago going into the season. Hell, they had him rated higher than Lamar going into this season. So how is it that you think Justin Herbert is that great with nothing of relevance as an accomplishment on his resume? You see how wicked the media is? To sit there and say Lamar need a Super Bowl to validate his career and his greatness because you want to bring in all these other talking points instead of just going straight out and saying the way he is viewed is fucked up and racist and it's not right. And he should not have to win a Super Bowl to validate his greatness because Josh Allen and all these other white dudes who we think is great, they ain't touched the Super Bowl. And we continue to tell you how great they are. I was just listening to somebody tell me that Justin Herbert is basically a creative player. What has he accomplished? I don't see nobody talking less of Justin Herbert's greatness, and he ain't accomplished shit. He don't win big games. He done been to the playoffs once, lost in it, in an ugly fashion. I don't see nobody saying he ain't a great quarterback. I mean, hell, they done already given him a Hall of Fame bust at this point. And like I said, I've never seen a quarterback be praised more for losing a Super Bowl they should have won than Joe Burrow. But for some reason, it's not enough for Lamar to do what he done so far in his career. It ain't enough for him to carry those Ravens teams that he done carried. It ain't enough for him to be in the position he is now. It won't be enough for him to beat Pat Mahomes. He got to go out there and win the Super Bowl. It don't matter. That's crazy to me. Now, if you want to say for Lamar Jackson to be an all-time great, then a Super Bowl is necessary. I'm with you on that. But to validate his greatness as a player is only there if he wins a Super Bowl is just high-key racism, high-key ignorance, high-key stupidity. I mean, you got motherfuckers like Taylor Lewan sitting around saying dumb shit like that. I mean, come on. So to me, the fact that that's still a narrative being painted, like I told y'all earlier this season, you haven't seen one report yet. Are the Chargers getting their money's worth out of Justin Fields? I mean, out of Justin Herbert. Are the Bengals getting their money's worth out of Joe Burrow? They both got paid in the offseason. Neither of the two finished the season. Neither of the two teams made the playoffs. Lamar Jackson won enough games last year that when he got hurt, his team still made the playoffs. Didn't win really another game when he got hurt, but he had already won so much that they got to a playoff game. Before he got hurt, they were first in the AFC. But the first question that was asked this year when he had a loss was, were the Ravens getting their money's worth out of Lamar Jackson? The way that he done been viewed at every single turn, the way he done been talked about at every single turn. I want Lamar Jackson win this game more than I need air to breathe. Because I understand the great player that this kid is. I understand he ain't a kid no more, that this man is. If you sit back and you look at how unfairly he done been criticized, how unfairly he done been judged, and you look at the fact that the Ravens played a huge hand in it by their refusal to move off of Greg Roman, their refusal to go bring in receivers and use the excuse of, oh, we was playing the offense the way we thought it would help Lamar. Well, clearly you don't recognize when a quarterback done outgrown the things around him because you took too long to go out and get him help and to evolve the offense, something that he always wanted. But they still look at him a certain type of way. They didn't blame Baltimore for the things that Baltimore didn't do, even though every time you look around, they blaming all these other organizations for what they don't do for their white quarterbacks. And at every single level, Lamar Jackson kept a smile on his face. He's talked to the media, the same media that done disrespected him in so many ways. He give a smile and he answer every question. I really don't know how you could not like a guy like this, but people find ways. He done every single thing that was required of him to be great. Everything he done asked, everything you done said that he need to do to be great, he done it. The last thing he trying to do is capture a Super Bowl, and I cannot remember the last time we held another quarterback to the ridiculous standards we hold Lamar Jackson to. But that's the beauty in Lamar Jackson. Do you know how many quarterbacks would have folded? Not even just quarterbacks. You know how many players would have folded if put under the same type of pressure that Lamar Jackson is put under? If you being told that you can't do something that you so passionate about, that you done worked your whole life for. Imagine being put in the same circumstances, in the same situation as Lamar Jackson, but having to handle it in a professional way, the way Lamar Jackson handled it the entire time. Impossible. I couldn't have done it. There's no way. I would have lost my professionalism a long time ago. But at every turn, not only do he just come into the season and get better, he remained the same good person. And that's hard to do, which is why I need Lamar to win this game. And unlike what I said about Josh Allen, because if you can't beat Pat Mahomes now, when will you ever beat him? I truly believe that for Josh Allen, because now he in Josh's head. And I hate that for my guy Josh, because he too fucking talented to be having another quarterback in his head like this. But it is very clear that Pat Mahomes is in his head. But I'm a fair man. And Pat Mahomes also done been inside Lamar Jackson's head. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You remember when Lamar Jackson had said 2 times, I had addressed this on the show back in when it happened. Lamar Jackson said that we had lost to them on Monday Night Football. It's the biggest loss we had to the Chiefs in the Pat Mahomes era. I think it was about 14 points. And Lamar was like, I guess that's our kryptonite. Like, that's the one quarterback I can't seem to beat. That's the one team we cannot seem to beat is Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. He said that was a kryptonite. That was the first thing to let me know Pat Mahomes is in the head. But then he said, when they asked him about facing Mahomes, he said, I don't face Mahomes, I face the defense. And I tell you, anytime a quarterback say that, it's not a good sign. Because when you are as great as Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe, you play each other. Obviously, you play the defense. But what you do is predicated on what they do. What they do is predicated on what you do. You understand the battle that is at hand. When these teams go up against regular quarterbacks, they know that other team going to have to out-scheme, out-coach them. When you go up against Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, you say to yourself, I can neutralize what Pat Mahomes doing on the other side of that ball if I'm Lamar, if I'm Joe Burrow, if I'm Josh Allen. That's what you believe. Because you are, bless me, thank you. Because you are that special. Shout out to Quentin Williams. You are that special to where you say to yourself, when they go up against an average team with an average quarterback or a great team with an average quarterback, that team cannot trust that quarterback is going to match wit for wit with Pat Mahomes. But I'm Lamar Jackson. I can go toe-to-toe with Pat Mahomes. I am the equalizer for my team. That's what you have. And I said it at the time. At some point in time, Lamar going to realize, no, it is me versus Pat Mahomes. And you can see his maturity and his growth in that way, because when they asked him about it this time, he said, I don't like playing against Pat Mahomes. And he gave Pat nothing but respect. That's a quarterback that continue to grow. That's a quarterback that understands greatness. That's a quarterback who remained himself, but still grew and understood the velocity or the, what's the word I'm looking for? He understood the gravity of playing against another great quarterback. Because you yourself can't just be great and think that you're not going to play against other guys that's on your level or higher. Once Lamar realized, no, when I play against the Chiefs, it is me going up against Mahomes. That's when he started to take another step. It's fine to say I'm only worried about myself, like Lamar do a lot. It's cool to say that. But you got to be worried about the greats. You have to understand, when I go up against the Bengals, I got Joe Burrow on the other side. When I go up against the Bills, I got Allen on the other side. When I go up against Pat fucking Mahomes, not the Chiefs. When I go up against Pat fucking Mahomes, I got Pat on the other side. And so that growth alone, and I told y'all, I done told y'all multiple times, it's nothing like watching Lamar Jackson play against a white quarterback that everybody think is better than him. Because I know he going to win that game. I think the only white quarterback that's done got a legitimate win off of him was the Josh Allen. Joe Burrow might have got one. I can't remember no real win that Joe Burrow got against Lamar that I considered like just a flat out even game play both sides. He picked up a dub. I know he picked up that one dub where the Ravens defense basically had street dudes playing in the secondary, but that game does not mean much to me. Josh Allen beat Lamar and them boys last year at home. Should have lost, but they still found a way to win it. But nonetheless, when Lamar Jackson got to play primetime games, phenomenal. This is the biggest primetime game for Lamar Jackson. This is the test for Lamar Jackson. All of this other stuff, all of these other teams, all of these other quarterbacks, it's cool to play against them. You know, he understands how the media talk about Herbert, Allen, Burrow, Stroud. He get it. Purdy when he played against Purdy. None of that matter. He knew the media was wrong about that. He know who the fuck Pat Mahomes is. So walking fucking legend. And I said the other day that I would take Pat Mahomes over Tom Brady. I'm here to double down on that. Pat Mahomes is the first player I'm taking off it. Now, I'm a defensive guy. My favorite player all time is Aaron Donald and Ed Reed. When it's said and done, my favorite players will more than likely be Pat Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. It's just no two ways around it. What these two motherfuckers do on a football field is ridiculous. I've never seen a quarterback run the way Lamar Jackson can run. People keep saying Michael Vick. Michael Vick is nowhere near as good as Lamar Jackson, bro. I'm sick and tired of people using Michael Vick when they talk about Lamar. At this point, it feels like Lamar is a lifeline for Michael Vick to stay relevant. Every time Michael Vick needs some attention, he get out and start talking about Lamar Jackson because he know simple white people going to say, oh, yeah, you know, he played just like you. He remind me of you. How? He a better passer than Vick. He a better winner than Vick. He actually played. Vick never finished the season. He done been far more successful with his team as far as taking his team to the playoffs. Michael Vick, there's no disrespect to Vick. Michael Vick's career has been severely overrated because of the disrespect to Lamar Jackson. And if you took Lamar's resume and gave it to Joe Burrow, even with Joe Burrow's Super Bowl appearance, flipped the careers, Joe Burrow would already have a fucking Hall of Fame jacket being made and a bus. But for some reason, people like to question, is Lamar Jackson him? It's absolutely ridiculous. People love them stats. Love them stats. Just take Lamar's resume. Put it up against any resume that ain't Tom Brady or Pat Mahomes. Or just specifically staying with who he playing against in today's. Put it against any quarterback not named Pat Mahomes. Lamar had the better resume. I understand team success. I saw somebody in the comment section of the Josh Allen video say that Josh Allen had 3 better years than Lamar Jackson. What crack are you smoking? Josh Allen was not better than Lamar Jackson last year before Lamar got hurt. Not to mention, I think it's very funny that you Josh Allen fans continue to bring up his good years when he had Stephon Diggs, but then you use the excuse of Stephon Diggs not that good. Because Lamar Jackson ain't never had a Stephon Diggs. And his team done been in contention every year. Lamar Jackson has not had a year other than his rookie year, where technically his first full year was his rookie year, but he started like 6 games in his rookie year when Joe Flacco went down. Ever since that year, Lamar done been MVP or done finished in the top of the MVP race. Can you say that about Josh Allen? I think the biggest problem with Josh Allen, and I love Josh Allen, obviously, so this is one of the reasons I know, because I sat back and wondered to myself, how has Josh Allen not won an MVP yet? Now, I think it's foolish that he finished in the top 5 this year over Pat Mahomes. I done said it all year. To me, Josh Allen was not better than Pat Mahomes. I think if you watch it's not even I think. If you watch the games, bruh, to punish Pat Mahomes for some of the play of his receivers and whatnot, and then him playing bad in certain situations because of that, I really think Pat was punished for the interaction he had with Josh Allen in midfield this year and some of the complaining people want to say he did. But I just want to point out, Tom Brady has never, at one point in time in his career, been held accountable for his outbursts on the sideline, for him yelling at coaches, for him yelling at players, for him going at the media. Nobody that ever held Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and them responsible. But for some reason, the best fucking quarterback to ever live, we going at him because he get mad. Y'all go at him because he get mad on the sideline. Do you know how professional Pat Mahomes done been? If that motherfucker want to go out and snap on his receivers, have fucking at it, Patty. That's Patrick fucking Mahomes. The rules don't apply. That motherfucker is different. If he pissed, if he really mad, let it show, Pat. And even then, he still show you his professionalism. I just wanted to point that out. I'm getting real sick and tired of people taking shots at my guy, Pat. I just want to point that out. Because we ain't doing that to other people. And to me, it's funny how I saw Chris Broussard say that the writers, the people who vote, they are unbiased and they are objective. No, the fuck they are not. They had Brock Purdy as the MVP for the majority of this season. These motherfuckers had Christian McCaffrey and Tyreek Hill as MVP candidates. That's crazy. Now, some people might say, well, quarterback can't just be, an MVP can't just be a quarterback award. Says who? Why the fuck can't it? They play the biggest roles on the field. I told you already, I would not give Brock Purdy MVP. But if you made me choose between him and Christian McCaffrey, I'm not giving it to a running back. It's not happening. Because do I think Brock Purdy is a Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar, Pat? No. Fuck no. But what I also know is if he don't play as good as he play, the 49ers still don't have the record they have, even with Christian McCaffrey being as great as he is. Christian McCaffrey definitely saved them last week. Brock Purdy still had to make a couple throws. They still had to get into the end zone by throwing the ball a couple. They still had to move down the field by being able to throw the ball a couple times. So regardless of how good you think Tyreek and Christian McCaffrey is, those two awards, those two guys, their awards is called the Offensive Players of the Year. And I get it. Christian McCaffrey may have been the legitimate MVP of his team. Offensive Player of the Year. Because I'm not giving it to, and listen, this is just me. I'm not giving it to anybody that's not a quarterback. If a quarterback is having, and the people who was like, oh, this is just not a great year, for one, those is dudes whose team sucked, or the guys who don't have Lamar Jackson as their quarterback because they didn't want him to win an MVP. But I would argue this year, they finally gave it to an actual MVP like last year. Last year, Pat Mahomes put up the numbers, but it was between him and Jalen Hurts on who was the MVP. Jalen Hurts got hurt. Pat Mahomes didn't. I have no problem with Pat Mahomes winning that MVP. This year, people want to say numbers. If defense is playing better, then why the fuck should numbers matter? Especially when you look at Lamar Jackson's resume. MVP is not a stat-based award. It's who was the most valuable player for their team. Point blank, period. That was Lamar Jackson. To me, Josh Allen could be in that race, but it's no way that Pat Mahomes ain't in that race also. I think Tua could have finished in that race. I wouldn't have put him in the top 3 because to me, the top 3 MVP candidates this year should have been Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen. Then I would have had Dak Prescott behind him. Then I would have had Tua. Actually, I would have put Tua over Dak for the simple reason Tua beat Dak. So, and listen, we can say what we want to about the Dolphins. The reality is the Dolphins had a lot of fucking injuries to end that season. So who knows how the Dolphins season would have ended if they did not have so many injuries to deal with at the back end of the season. But nonetheless, this is Lamar's moment. I truly believe this is Lamar's moment. This is the moment he's been working for, the moment people said he couldn't get to. He is about to do what everybody said he couldn't do, what the haters said he couldn't do. Now, I'm tired of this Taylor Swift. Oh, Lamar, we need you to, when you are our last hope, to not have Taylor Swift. And, bro, some of y'all really just not football fans. like dead ass. Some of y'all just don't like football. How in God's name is Taylor Swift? And it's the playoffs, bro. The playoffs. And y'all worried about Travis Kelce's girlfriend? This is crazy. It's crazy. It seems as though y'all just find ways to hate people when they are great. Like, I can't remember all the things y'all was saying about Tom Brady. Now, it's the beauty in Tom Brady is he a white man. So it's going to be hard to find too many people that hate because, it feel like Tom Brady most of the time was universally recognized as the greatest player. And that's not hard. That's not hard to do when you're a white guy. I'm just being a band with you. When you're a black guy, is people don't want to give Pat Mahomes his credit. But when you look at this motherfucking resume, and I'm telling you, I understand he lost to Joe Burrow. I think that defense was just shell-shocked when you had to play against that many type of studs on offense. I think that's why they was able to handle it better the next year around. You don't prepare for Lamar Jackson is more the way he evolves as a player. Just like you don't prepare for a Pat Mahomes. You just hope. You hope to get lucky, to be honest with you. You hope that they kill themselves. They make mistakes because it's certain players. What do you do about a Tom Brady in his prime? A Pat Mahomes, a Lamar, a Josh Allen in their prime. Now, I get the people what they're going to say about Josh. Well, Josh Allen going to throw the ball to the other team. I get that. I get that. That was the Brett Favre type thing also. He just wait for him to throw the ball. I never forgot when Charles Woodson was like, Brett going to throw it to us. You just wait for him to throw it to the other team. When you that type of quarterback, bro, that's got to feel some type of way with a defender come out and be like, bro, he going to throw it to us anyways. Like, we know he going to throw it to us. That's the beauty. This is what I like about Pat and Lamar, I guess. Also, they're not really high turnover, really. They're not high turnover guys. I know Pat Mahomes, I think he had 17 interceptions this year. I might be wrong on that. Hold up. I got to check that. I definitely got to check that. Hold up real quick. Shit's ain't popping. No, yeah, they are. They right here. Hold up. Oh, no, they're not. I think Pat Mahomes threw 17 interceptions this year, but let me tell you something. Even if my guy Patty Mahomes did throw 17 interceptions, don't fucking matter because I hate Doritos. The only Doritos I will eat is the purple bag, the sweet chili. That's the kind that Pat Mahomes eat also. So Pat Mahomes always done been. Listen, it's just nothing nobody gonna make me say to not fuck with Pat Mahomes, bro. I am a lover of greatness. Let me just say it like that. I love great players, bro. I think Sean O'Hara was the motherfucker who said, "Nah, I don't think he was." That shit. I wish I could remember the dude who said that shit about taking Josh Allen over Pat Mahomes, bro. Oh, I wish I could remember this. Either way, bro, it's nothing that nobody gonna say that's gonna make me not rock with Pat Mahomes. But in this game, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson will take his step to being on that level of. Now, listen, Lamar could go on to beat Pat Mahomes this year, win a Super Bowl MVP. I still would not put him above Pat Mahomes. I would start to tell you he is on his way to being right there with Pat Mahomes. I'm still going to have him number 2. I can't have him 1B or nothing crazy like that because Pat Mahomes got 6 trips to the AFC Championship game, dog. 3 Super Bowl appearances. 2 Super Bowl wins with 2 Super Bowl MVPs, and you can point out big plays he made. And I saw somebody say the other day that Pat Mahomes haven't really played good in either Super Bowl. Bro, this is why I get irritated with that stat talk, bro. Do you think that the Chiefs would have won either of them 2 fucking Super Bowls? Because people acting like he got to play against them cakewalks that Brady played in the Super Bowl at certain points. All right. Let me tell you something. Pat Mahomes played against a Philadelphia Eagle team that was picked to beat them. And I think the 49ers was picked to beat them that other year. He made big plays in both of those games to win them. Listen, this may not be the biggest test of Pat Mahomes' career because he done seen a Super Bowl. But Lamar got to start somewhere. And this, to me, will be the beginning of Lamar Jackson. Now, the defense for the Chiefs is a great defense, but I do think it can be exploited. I think if the Ravens run the ball the way they've been running the ball all year, they will have an advantage against the Chiefs defense. And one of the things that I think is going to be tough for the Chiefs is if you haven't had to play against this new, mature, evolved Lamar Jackson, it could be really tough for 4 quarters to figure out Lamar Jackson because this is not a guy who is just a great runner of the football no more. This is not a guy who is a great passer, but he don't have a great passing concept game behind him. He now has the offensive coordinator behind him. He not going out there every game trying to figure out how to beat the Chiefs defense. Now he got an OC who is also going out there saying, this is how we'll beat the Chiefs defense, Lamar. He know he can rely on his weapons. He know he can rely on his OC. He ain't been able to do that in the past when he went up against this team. It was more so, what greatness can I extrapolate out of myself to get us over this hump? He not thinking like that no more. Now he thinking to himself, what can we get out of everybody to get over this hump? And I think when you is as great as Lamar Jackson, when you as great as Pat Mahomes, and you know you got the weaponry around you, it become that much easier because you know you trust yourself to do your job. Lamar and Pat know when it's time for us to be Superman and put on that cape, we going to be able to do it. And I told you, when you look at Josh Allen this year, how many times did they make him put on that Superman cape before he needed to? And when I say before he needed to, what I'm saying is when you turn 6 games into a need to game because of bad roster construction, well, now you begin to hurt later on when you actually need him to be Superman. You shouldn't need him to be Superman every single week of the season. That's going to hurt him. But when you need him to be Superman for 1 or 2 or 3 games and in the playoffs, well, now that's a whole new story. Look at how Josh Allen, and this is my scare for Josh. His best performance of his career probably to this point was that loss to the Chiefs. Now, I'm not telling you he can't get back to that because you could just give him better weapons or more weapons eventually, and he could get back to that. A better offensive coordinator. But if that was his best game, with the best Buffalo team around him he done had, mind you, that Buffalo defense was a great defense that year and got shredded by the Pat Mahomes. That's just the greatness of Pat Mahomes. You know what? Man, just like my boy Lamar, Pat Mahomes don't be playing with y'all when he play against them white quarterbacks who y'all say better than him. or who y'all say just as good as Pat Mahomes. Boy, he don't be playing that shit, do he? I'm glad we got these two African-American men in the league who don't play that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I remember back in my day, I'm only 29, but I remember looking at those African-American quarterbacks like a Teddy Bridgewater who folded all the time. You know what I'm saying? Who let their counterparts be so greater than them, who never questioned the establishment. And then you get Patty motherfucking Mahomes come along. You get Deshaun Watson at one point in time, but you get Lamar Jackson, Hurts, Dak, just so many great black quarterbacks. But at the top of all of it is Pat Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. And I also think they're the best two quarterbacks in football. So this will be a true battle of heavyweights. This will be a true battle of two future Hall of Famers, two dudes who probably already getting their buses created as we speak because they are that great individually. But when you talk about the team success, there's no question that Pat Mahomes has played a bigger role in his team capturing the ultimate prize. But this year is where it starts for number 8, for Lamar Jackson. I got nothing but love and respect for the Kansas City Chiefs. That's why you didn't see me say nothing negative. That's why you didn't hear me say anything negative about them. It's the one team that I have nothing bad to say about because they led by, to me, the greatest quarterback to ever play this game. But I know what my eyes is telling me. And I've been pretty damn right on a lot of things that I done said on the show. And the one thing I know is that Lamar Jackson is a generational talent. We love to throw that term generational talent around. I don't think Joe Burrow is a generational talent. I actually get irritated when I hear people say that because you cannot point to me nothing that he do that make him a generational talent. But I can point to you the weapons that help him look like a generational talent. I think Josh Allen is a generational talent. Josh Allen's don't grow on trees. Lamar Jackson's and Pat Mahomes don't grow on trees. That's not saying that they don't still need development in certain parts of their game and whatnot. Pat Mahomes told you he couldn't even read a defense that great, and he had already won a Super Bowl when he told you that. The greats still get better. They still evolve their games. But I'm tired of this generational term being thrown around. I saw somebody say C.J. Stroud a generational talent. How do you know that early? It's no way you could know that that's a generational talent that quick. Jordan Love. If I done told you he was a generational talent, I apologize because I don't think I have. But if I have said that, I apologize. I don't know if Jordan Love a generational talent yet. It's a lot to go into being a generational talent. Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, I can pinpoint for you the things that make them generational talents. I don't know if another quarterback can take the Ravens as far as Lamar done took them in the past with the trash he done had to work with, unless it's a Pat Mahomes. I don't know how many quarterbacks win a Super Bowl with Pat Mahomes had to work with last year other than a Pat Mahomes. I can tell you what make those dudes generational. I don't know quite yet if Jordan Love or some of these other, I can tell you the ones who I know for a fact ain't that people done said is generational talents. But it's going to be a good one this Sunday, man. It's going to be a good one. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to call a blowout, even though I do think the Ravens could end up blowing out the Chiefs. That's how good. The Ravens playing at their A game can blow out anybody. It's just the reality. However, anybody ain't got fucking Pat Mahomes. And my respect, my admiration, I guess you could say my respectful fear for Pat Mahomes is it knows the way motherfuckers felt about Michael Jordan is how I feel about Pat Mahomes. You know, oftentimes I see people say, man, oh, I'm disappointed I didn't grow up in this era and this era. And listen, if you didn't get to watch Kobe Bean, motherfucking Bryant, I feel for you. If you didn't get to watch Kevin Durant in his prime, I feel for you. If you didn't get to watch Miami Heat, LeBron James, I feel for you. If you didn't get to watch Ed Reed and Ray Lewis lace it up and be in their primes, I feel for you. If you didn't get to watch Tom Brady in his prime, I feel for you. However, you're getting to watch Pat Mahomes in his. That's why I wish people would appreciate what they watch. And, you know, too many times after this fact, people are like, oh, you know, we ain't appreciating it. Like Peter Schrager had tweeted the other day, I really think we need to appreciate what we're saying. And I tweeted him like, yo, shut the fuck up. And how about you appreciate what you're seeing? Because I'm tired of the analysts hopping on the bandwagon afterwards. And for the analysts to say, well, we needed to see Lamar do this and that for us to believe. You didn't need to see the white quarterbacks do it for you to believe in them. You just get on TV and boost them up. It's only Lamar that you keep saying, but, and, if, it. That's why I'm happy Lamar don't be giving y'all jackasses interviews. I don't want Lamar Jackson to sit down with Peter Schrager. I don't want Lamar Jackson to sit down with Pat McAfee. I don't want Lamar Jackson to sit down with ESPN. I don't want Lamar Jackson to sit down with, I do want to see him sit down with Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless done been one of the biggest Lamar Jackson supporters from day one, bro. I just think when you done had the, I'm not too big on you deserve. I'm not too big on that. You deserve what you go out there and take. However, if it's anybody in the media that deserve to have a sit down conversation with Lamar Jackson if he win a Super Bowl, it's 100% Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless done had that man's back from day one. Now he done said some stupid shit along the way when he get emotional, but for the most part, he done always had Lamar Jackson's back. When nobody else in the media wanted to stand up and defend him, he been there to defend him. Keyshawn Johnson for a long time done had Lamar Jackson's back also. As has I don't even like this next motherfucker, Marcellus Wiley. But for the most part, Skip Bayless done been one of the, I don't want to see him sit down with Stephen A. Smith. If you watch the show, you know I love Stephen A. Smith. I don't always agree with some of the bullshit that come out of his mouth, but I like Stephen A. I do not want to see Lamar Jackson sit down with Stephen A. I don't want to see him sit. I definitely 100% don't want to see him sit down with Shannon Sharp. I don't never want to see him sit down with Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp to me, and I told you, I don't know too much about this deserve and earn. He don't deserve, he ain't earn. I don't want to see him talk to Lamar Jackson, bro. A dude that's done been so wishy-washy, so hypocritical of how he done talked about. I do not want to see him talk to Lamar. I don't want to see Nick Wright talk to Lamar. I don't mind seeing Colin Cowherd talk to Lamar. I just don't want to see Jason McIntyre there while he doing it. But if it's one person who I wanted to talk to Lamar more than anybody, it's me, obviously. But aside from me, it would definitely probably be Skip Bayless. But I don't think nobody else would have a conversation that I could sit down and have with Lamar Jackson, bro, because I am legitimately a fan. I really want to sit down and talk to Lamar and Pat Mahomes, to be honest with you, bro. That's the goal one day, to sit down and talk to both of those men, because them dudes is just greatness. Just greatness, bro. We got ourselves a matchup this Sunday, man. I don't know why this game is the first game of the day. To me, it's highly ignorant. I don't care that San Francisco is in California, bruh. They should not be the nighttime game. I don't care about the time difference and whatnot. They play early games in the season. They should not be bro. If you asked anybody what should be the primetime game, Lamar, Mahomes, Purdy, Goff. Come on now. That shit gonna be going 9 to 10. 90% of the fans gonna want to see Lamar, Pat Mahomes as the primetime game. So that not being a primetime game don't make no sense to me. And it kind of irritates me because if it was the primetime game, like the nighttime game, I would go to work that morning. I don't have to, but I would go to work that morning because I don't mind missing a quarter or two of that that Lions game. I'm be quite frank with you. To me, the more and more I think about this Lions being where they are, it just shows me how weak the NFC is, because it's no shot that the Lions should be right here when you look at that defense. I know I made a video telling you the things that they should do to win this game, but when you look at the Lions secondary, a team with a secondary this bad should not be in the position they are in. I'm just telling you. A team with a quarterback that's as limited as Jared Goff should not be in this spot. A team with a head coach that is as basic and as simple a head coach as Dan Campbell should not be in this spot. The only way things been for them to be in this spot is teams play bad, check. The conference be atrocious, check. And have a couple things swing your way, check. Other than that, oh my God. That's why it's so hard for me to pick the Lions to win this game, even if Debo don't play. Bro, Brock Purdy not going to be playing in bad weather this time. He not going to have 2 back-to-back bad home games. And I don't think that the defense is going to allow the Lions to go crazy. I just don't. And not to mention, how are the Lions going to stop the I understand the Lions got a good run defense. The Lions ain't had to play against Christian McCaffrey all year. Okay? So I understand all the Detroit hopefuls and I hope Detroit get to the Super Bowl. I really do. Because they going to get their asses waxed regardless of who play them. So I would love for the Detroit Lions to get to the Super Bowl. To be quite frank with you, if the Ravens get there, I'm not worried about either of the other two teams getting there. Because if Brock Purdy get there, I think 2 weeks off of him will be a problem. I don't think Brock Purdy need to sit out 2 weeks. Now, obviously, it'll give him Debo back and all that type of thing. And they'll put up a better fight against the Ravens, in my opinion, than the Lions will. Because I just don't think Jared Goff is a quarterback who can stand toe-to-toe with a Baltimore Ravens defense for 4 quarters and come out on the other end if Lamar Jackson don't throw 3 interceptions. If you don't get extra possessions against the Ravens, it's going to be hard. Because if the Ravens is hitting their stride and they playing the way they play, they're going to put up 30-plus points. And they have the defense to make sure you don't put up 30-plus points. Now, some people think this Ravens game and this Chiefs game could be a slugfest, like no scoring. I don't think that the Ravens is the same team that's going to not be able to score. The Ravens, in my opinion, will figure out ways to score. If this is a game where it's not a lot of scoring happening, I don't think it's going to be because the Ravens ain't scoring. I do think the Chiefs defense could have a good game. But I'm looking at this. This, to me, is the worst iteration, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. This is not the best version of the Chiefs defense I done seen. The Chiefs defenses I've seen in the past that stifle Lamar Jackson, this is a whole new Lamar Jackson, and this ain't the same teams. Plus, what they had to work with last week against the Bills, knowing that they throw a lot of check downs, a lot of screens, a lot of short, that's not the Ravens. The Ravens do not play that short route game. They try to attack up the field. They try to go vertical up the field. That's one of the things that I hate that don't get brought up enough. Lamar Jackson is not throwing a bunch of screens and checkdowns. Lamar Jackson is trying to attack you up and down the field. That's why they had to change the game plan last week, because the offensive line wasn't holding up, and they was trying to draw up plays to get down the field. That's how they operate. They operate more like the Chiefs than you like to think when it comes to attacking you down the field. Now, the Chiefs do run a lot of screens and whatnot, but that's because they had to switch up the way they played offense because of the talent they have. That's called good coaching and great adjustments. Nonetheless, we done said enough. I am super excited for this game on Sunday. I cannot wait. We will be back here Sunday night to talk about the game. I am sure of that. I appreciate you for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. You can be anything in the world. Choose to be kind to somebody today. Like, subscribe, share, and I truly appreciate all the support. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, you know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber, you out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.